Brazilian Portuguese Meals, a Pronunciation Guide. Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I'm so glad you're joining us today because honestly, we're unlocking something that's not just super practical, but a whole lot of fun. Look, if you ever plan to navigate daily life in Brazil, you absolutely have to know how to talk about food. It's a huge part of the culture. So today, we're mastering the essential Brazilian Portuguese meal names, and more importantly, figuring out exactly how to pronounce them so you can sound, well, like a natural.
So let me ask you, are you ready for your next Portuguese conversation? Because knowing these specific day-to-day food terms, it's not just about building up a vocabulary list. It is absolutely essential for interacting confidently with the locals. You want to be able to order exactly what you're craving right when you want it without skipping a beat or feeling unsure of yourself. Okay, let's dive right into this. We're going to take a quick chronological walkthrough a virtual day of eating in Brazil. We've got our morning café da manhã, the midday lunch, the afternoon almoço, and finally, the evening janta. Morning fuel, café da manhã. Let's start right at the top of the day with breakfast. In Brazil, breakfast is this wonderful, welcoming daily ritual, and it also happens to be our very first pronunciation challenge of this explainer. So the term you're going to need for breakfast is café da manhã. Notice the phonetic breakdown we're looking at here. The word café actually drops its stress right on that second syllable, making it café. Then we hit the middle word, da, which isn't harsh or drawn out. It's really just a short, soft da sound that acts like a little bridge between the two main words. Let's just take a beat and break this down into 3 easy steps. Honestly, say it out loud with me wherever you are right now. Step 1, café. Step 2, da. And step 3, manhã. Okay, that last step, absolutely crucial. Manhã actually translates to morning, and it's got this distinct, beautifully nasal sound right at the tail end, manhã. So let's put the whole shebang together smoothly. Café da manhã. Really great job. The midday shift, lunch. Moving our little narrative forward, let's say it's a few hours later, and those midday hunger pangs are starting to sneak up on you. You're probably looking to grab a quick bite, right? Well, be careful here, because we are about to walk right into a super common linguistic trap for English speakers. The word you're actually looking for right now is lanche. Let's sound this one out together. The first chunk sounds like lan, and you really want to lean into a nice open ah sound there. Then you just finish it right off with a super soft she. Put it together and you get lanche. Now, take a look at the contrast here. Lanche looks and sounds an awful lot like the English word lunch, doesn't it? But watch out because it's a total false friend. Lanche actually just means snack. If you're looking for the real main event, like the actual midday meal, you're going to need a totally different word, almoço. The main event, almoço. And that brings us perfectly to the biggest meal of the day. You see, in Brazil, lunch is very often the most substantial, important meal. So keeping that energy high, let's tackle our next phonetic breakdown so you can confidently order up a massive, delicious plate of rice and beans, almoço. While the spelling might look kind of familiar, the sound is definitely unique. The beginning, al, isn't a sharp sound. It's this nice, wide-open, sound, almoço. Then comes the tricky part. For the moço half of the word, you really need to place a heady emphasis on that first syllable, moço. Let's put it all together. Almoço. It really does roll right off the tongue once you catch the rhythm. Winding down, janta. Okay, so we've snacked, we've conquered our massive almoço, and now the sun is starting to set. It's time to bring our virtual day of eating to a close and wind things down with the evening meal. The word for dinner is janta. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is that starting J sound. It is definitely not a hard jumping J like you'd hear in the English word jump. It's incredibly soft. Actually, think of it much more like the S sound right in the middle of the English word measure, Jean. So you start with that soft, drawn-out Jean and follow it up with a really simple, crisp ta, janta. Mastering the nasal sounds. We have made it through the whole day, but before you officially graduate from today's explainer, we need to face what I like to call the boss level of Portuguese pronunciation. If you really want to unlock the secret and sound like a true local, this is exactly where you need to focus your attention. Our source material points out something vital right here. It says, practice the nasal sounds in manhã and janta, as they are distinct in Portuguese. I literally cannot emphasize this enough, guys. Those nasal tones where you're basically forcing the air up through your nasal passage instead of just straight out of your mouth. They are exactly what give the language its unique character and that beautiful rhythm. Nailing the nya in manhã and the jan in janta is just absolutely key. Seriously, don't be afraid to sit there and practice them out loud until they feel completely natural to you. So, as we wrap up our little linguistic and culinary tour today, I want to leave you with one final thought. Which meal are you going to order in your next conversation? The absolute best way to learn any language is just by doing it. Take these newly mastered words, café da manhã, lanche, almoço, and janta, and step confidently out into the real world. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Keep practicing those tricky nasal sounds, and I'll see you in the next explainer.